Hi, everyone.
Hi, it's Officer Best, Officer Potak, and we're here. Catasauqua Police Department.
And today we'll be reading Scare a Bear. I don't suggest getting that close to a bear ever. Do you know how to scare a bear?
Probably be a Philadelphia Eagle.
Would you bang pots and pans? Would you rattle some cans? Would you shout? Would you yell? Would you ring a loud bell? Those all sound like really good ideas.
Yes.
What if the bear isn't easy to scare? Would you stand nose to nose? Would you turn on a hose? I would do neither. That would irritate the bear.
Yeah.
Would you make a strange face and a big scary pose? Would you shout, "I declare it's a bear! Please beware"? What if that bear isn't easy to scare? What if that bear wants to go for a swim? Would you holler and hoot? Would you give him the boot? Would you say, "You can't swim here, you don't have a suit"? What if the bear wants to go for a swim? Then I suggest you don't swim in the lake with him.
Right.
What if the bear wants to fish from your boat? Do you think he would fit? Would you tell him to sit? Would you share your pole and your best fishing hole? Do you think he would squirm if you showed him a worm? What if the bear wants to fish from your boat? What if that bear starts to beg for some dinner? Would you share your peas? They probably would. They'd probably throw their peas.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll say please? Would you give him a dish with a fancy big fish? What if the bear starts to beg for some dinner? What if that bear sits down by the fire? Would you share your seat? Would you make him a treat? Would you tell him you think he's had too much to eat? I would run the other way.
Probably, I know.
Away from the bear in the woods.
Exactly, yeah.
What if that bear wants to sleep overnight? Would you start to giggle if he starts to wiggle? What if he snores? Would you send him outdoors? If he climbed in your bunk, would the bed go punk? What if the bear wants to sleep overnight? What if that bear will not leave the next morning? Would you give him a map with a compass and a cap? Would you tell him, "Keep walking, don't stop for a nap"? Would you say, "Mr. Dear Bear, there's no need for stalling. It's time to go home, your mother is calling"? No, that's how you scare a bear right there.
Yep.
Mom's calling.
Mom's calling.
What if the bear will not leave in the morning? Then call the ranger. I know what he'll say. "This bear cannot stay. You must scare him away." Do you know how to scare a bear? I sure do. It's nothing new. Just say boo.
And away he goes.
And the bear runs away. And that is Scare a Bear. I don't suggest using some of the techniques in this book to scare a bear. I would probably urge you, if you live in Catasauqua and you see a bear, do please call 911 and let us know where the bear is so we can have it properly removed by the game wardens.
By the game wardens, right.
We are not going to scare a bear or catch a bear.
No.
We're going to call in somebody that does that professionally for a
Exactly.
living that
Yeah.
can work with bears. Because bears can be very brave, and they can come up to your house and eat your garbage. I used to live in an area where I had bears, and if I left my garbage can open, they would come up and take my garbage. So we actually had them trapped and relocated. So sometimes you will see bears. I know from working in Catasauqua, we had at least one bear here.
I'll tell you a story about me.
Uh-oh.
I was new on my bike when I was doing bike patrol here. This was many years ago. And there was a bear sighting in the borough here. And we called in the game warden, and the game warden saw the bear, and the game warden got the bear up in a tree, and he shot it in the rear end with a tranquilizer gun, which would supposedly make the bear go to sleep. Well, the bear kept running around, came down out of the tree, kept running around, and I was on my bike down off of Ray Street by the Caddy Scrapyard, riding down the railroad tracks. When all of a sudden, as I'm riding north on the railroad tracks, the bear is coming south toward me. So all of a sudden, we see each other, and the bear darts off to the right, and he goes over an embankment and lands in the Lehigh River. So not thinking, being relatively young and brazen police officer that I was, I went after the bear.
Oh, no.
My bike goes over the embankment, goes down into the Lehigh, is right on the edge of the Lehigh River. I end up going down the embankment into the water, and the bear is down there sound asleep as it's heading down into the water. So now I have to grab this bear, because if I don't, it's going to drown. So I grab the bear and I drag it over to the side, and it was a steep embankment. And fortunately, firefighters came along with their four-wheeler, and we were able to get a cable down, and I was able to get the cable around the bear, and they were able to hoist it up so that the game warden could get to it. And interesting, the first thing the game warden did was he went into the bear's mouth and pulled a tooth, because that's the way that they were able to determine how old the bear was.
Oh.
Yep, so that was
Wow.
my first experience with a bear.
Wow. You're pretty brave, because I'm not jumping in the river after a bear. I love animals. A bear is a little bit too big for me. I'm not sure I would have jumped in the river after him, but I would.
Let me
I would
tell
do
you
anything to
this,
save
I
the
didn't put a
animal.
whole lot of thought into that. That was kind of more of a reaction than it was a thought process. But fortunately, it worked out for me, and it worked out for the bear.
And you saved the bear. I'm sure he's very grateful to you.
Hopefully.
I mean, we want to
And
thank you. And go ahead.
And after I was done, the first thing I did was I made sure that I got up, that I was safe, that I was well, and then I went and I
Wash
washed
the
my
hands.
hands.
So we want to remind you to get out there, chalk your walk. If you see a bear, do not jump in the river after it. Call the police.
Yeah, don't try to outline it either, okay? Because they don't really lay still.
No, I don't suggest approaching a bear. But we want to remind you to chalk your walk, get some positive messages out there. It's becoming spring. It's going to be nice. Flat Pat's out there. He's in some bright colors, so we're going to keep that going. If you want to know where he is, you can always message us or come find us when we're on patrol, and we'll let you know where Flat Pat is.
And if y'all need chalk, make sure you get a hold of us here at the Catasauqua Police Department. Try to get in contact with either Officer Potak or me. Or if you live in North Caddy, reach out to Chief Wolford. Let him know that you need chalk. They've got chalk, and they would be more than willing and more than happy to let you have some of it to get out and draw some neat pictures. So
thank you for being with us, and we want to remind you
to stay well, stay safe,
and wash your hands. Bye.
Bye.